Welcome to the channel. I want to do three things today. I want to give you a quick update on the installation of the JW speaker fog lights that I previously put in. Also, the installation of JW speaker turn signals and the installation of a smaller stubby antenna. With the JW speaker fog lights in that episode, we got the fog lights installed, but they weren't flush. They didn't seat well in the hole in the grill, and that's because the tabs or ears on one side, which are not needed for the installation, get in the way. I didn't want to cut those off until I talked to JW Speaker, and I did get some information from tech support. They said go ahead and cut them off, and it wasn't going to be a warranty problem. So the lights were working fine, they just weren't seated well. So this clip will show you what I did to get the fog lights correctly installed. So before cutting off the ears, or at least cutting them down, there's a real big gap on that side where the ears are, and it's flush on the opposite side. So when we cut the ears off that are not being used, that are just in the way on this side, we should get it flush. And same thing for the other side. Yeah, I'm mainly going to grind down just the bottom ear because I think that's the one that's in the way the most. I might take a little bit off the top just so I don't have to come back to it. But okay, I've got it grinded down. It might have been easier just to cut those tabs off, but the tool that I have is not really powerful. But I've got enough off the top and the bottom that it'll fit in there nicely now. So I cut the tabs off, or the ears, on one side of each fog light. And before, you could stick your finger in here. So it's much more flush than it was. It sits really well in there now. All right, let's move on to the installation of the JW speaker turn signals. And the only thing we need to do the installation is a flathead screwdriver. You could really do it without this, but I'm going to use the flathead screwdriver to depress the tabs to get the original housing out easier. This is the 239 J2 series JW speaker turn signals. So these are the turn signals. And it comes with these clamps. Okay, so they're universal. They can be mounted on left or right, and the bracket is universal in that one side is for left-handed and you flip it over and the other side is right-handed. We'll make this one the left-handed side one, and we'll have the bracket where it says LH on the top, and we fit it into the little grooves. There are a couple of ways you can install these turn signals. One is to take the grill off, and I've seen other online videos for turn signal replacements on these Wranglers where they take the grill off. And to take the grill off, there are 8 fasteners on the top of the grill, and then there is a clip on each corner, and there are clips along the bottom of the grill. And the only advantage to doing it that way is, you don't have to sit down like I'm going to and kind of wedge yourself between the tire to get in there to the turn signal. But to me, it's a lot easier to do that than take the grill off. But I will show you how those fasteners come off, and they're very easy if you want to do it that way. And then you just have to pull it until the clips release on the corner and along the bottom. So there are 6 fasteners on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're very easy to take off. They're just plastic. And it has a little push top, and you just get that top up, and then you can pull the rest of it out completely. Once you have all 6 of them out, then there is a clip down in the corner on each side, and there are, I think, 3 clips along the bottom. So you can do that, and then you would be able to lay the grill out. And of course, you'd have to disconnect the turn signal first before you could lay the grill out. But once you've disconnected the turn signal, got all the push pins off and the clips off, you could take the whole grill off and lay it out, and it might be easier for you to work on it that way. I'm just going to sit down here in the space between the bumper and the tire and release the 2 tabs for the turn signal, and it'll come right out. So that's my preference. That seems a lot easier than taking the whole grill off. All right, we're going to disconnect this electrical. We're going to pull the bulb out. And then on this piece right here is a clip. And we just need to push that back, and there's a tab right here. And depress the tab and pull it apart from the connection here. Okay, that's one of the tabs. And then the other one is right there. And you push it from the inside out. And there we have it released. And then you just push the housing, it'll come right out the front. Looked like I caught that. Okay, we put the light through, and then we put the bracket on with the bolt, and that's what holds it into place. It doesn't have tabs like the original. The one benefit of taking the grill off is it's a little easier to get the bracket on because you're kind of in a confined space back here. And I still think it's not going to be too difficult. The driver's side is considered the left-hand side. So we'll use the bracket that has LH on the outside, and we just need to push the light in and get these into the little holes that they go into on the housing for the new light. Okay, so you just have to get the plate in the grooves that are in the housing and then put the screw in. Now there's no denying that if you took the whole grill off, it would be easier to get to. So that's the trade-off. And then we just have to hook up the electrical. And then slide the red clip in. And then we're hooked up. So now we'll move on to the right-hand side. The passenger side is considered the right-hand side. The side we just did, the driver's side, is considered the left-hand side in terms of the bracket. So just a rubber antenna and the adapter. And this one is for 2007 to 2019 JKs. It was $27. I'll put that information up on the screen. And all we need to install it is a 3/8 wrench. Really simple. Okay, this couldn't be any easier. It's just a 3/8 wrench. There's a little slot. It's shaped to be able to get the wrench on there. And counterclockwise, loosen it up. This one's bent a little bit. And every time that we go off-road, virtually every time, we get this hung up on a tree or bushes or something, and it whips, and you hear it whip across the Jeep. And I guess if it hits the glass, it could break the glass. But this replacement's going to be much shorter. The antenna comes with a little adapter. just have to put the adapter on the end of the antenna. And then tighten it on. It does not have a slot for you to put a wrench on it. And if you put pliers on it, obviously you're going to mess up the paint. So I'm just going to put it on hand tight. That's the only thing that is different than the original. And I think it's got a lot better look than the original. I like the way it looks. And we're not going to have the problem with it getting hung up on everything and whipping around. So it's that simple. Easy install. Okay, success. Got the lights in. So now after getting the JW LED turn signals in, I have all LED lights. I have the Cray headlights, the JW speaker turn signals, and the JW speaker fog lights. And we got the antenna in. And I think I'm going to like that on the trail. All right, we got it done. We got the turn signals in and the antenna in. One thing I would say is that if you don't take the grill off, it can be a little difficult getting in that tight space and getting that backing plate on and bolted in. But other than that, that was the most difficult part of it. So it was really pretty easy. And the antenna was absolutely nothing. So I think that's going to be a nice upgrade for the Jeep, where we don't have that antenna catching on stuff every time we go off-roading. Thank you for joining us. I hope this helps you if you can put some turn signals in, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.